Kamal Mongi is the embodiment of success at Kenyatta University. He's not only top of his class but also runs several successful businesses on campus, from selling electronics to a popular car wash and a delivery service. To his peers, Kamal is a living example of ambition and hard work paying off. He earned the nickname, Campus Millionaire, a title he wears with pride. However, behind the designer clothes, flashy cars, and luxurious lifestyle lies a truth that Kamal keeps hidden from the world: his profound sense of loneliness. Despite his financial success, Kamal feels increasingly disconnected from those around him. Many of his fellow students admire him for his wealth, but none seem genuinely interested in him as a person. His friendships are shallow, and though he is surrounded by people daily, Kamal can't shake the feeling of isolation. His day is filled with business meetings, lectures, and endless responsibilities, but when he returns to his lavish apartment each night, the silence is deafening. The life of the campus millionaire isn't as glamorous as it appears. Kamal's financial empire on campus continues to grow. He secures a lucrative deal with a local electronics supplier, adding more products to his online store. His success draws the attention of the media, and soon, Kamal is the subject of interviews and articles celebrating his entrepreneurial journey. He enjoys the fame but also grows wary of the increasing distance between him and his peers. The more successful he becomes, the more people treat him like a commodity. Kamal begins to question if anyone truly sees him for who he is. He attends social events and parties, where he is the center of attention, but conversations always seem to revolve around business advice, connections, and investments. Nobody ever asks about his personal dreams or struggles. The loneliness gnaws at him, even in the midst of the crowded rooms. He wonders if this is the price of success, an endless sea of people but no one to connect with on a deeper level. One rainy afternoon, Kamal decides to take a rare break from his businesses and sit by the campus fountain. As he watches students rush past, lost in their own worlds, he reflects on his own journey. He has everything he ever thought he wanted: money, recognition, and influence, but none of it seems to fill the emptiness inside. In that moment of quiet reflection, a stranger sits beside him. Her name is Wanjiru, a quiet, studious young woman Kamal has seen around campus but never spoken to. Unlike others, she doesn't ask him about his wealth or businesses. Instead, they talk about books, life, and the dreams they had as children. Kamal finds her refreshing, someone who sees beyond his public persona. Over the next few weeks, Kamal and Wanjiru begin to spend more time together. She becomes a rare source of genuine friendship in his life, but Kamal still hesitates to open up fully, afraid that even Wanjiru might eventually be drawn to his wealth. As his relationship with Wanjiru deepens, Kamal faces a new struggle, balancing his hectic business life with the joy he finds in her company. His businesses continue to thrive, but Kamal finds himself losing interest in the endless pursuit of profits. He enjoys his conversations with Wanjiru more than the money flowing into his accounts. They talk about everything from their childhoods to their visions for the future, and Kamal begins to realize how much he values the simplicity she brings into his complex life. However, the demands of his businesses grow, and Kamal starts missing their coffee dates and quiet walks around campus. Wanjiru notices the changes and begins to wonder if Kamal's world of success is too big for her to fit into. She doesn't care about his wealth, but she worries that he's too focused on maintaining his empire to truly invest in a relationship. Kamal, torn between his responsibilities and his newfound happiness with Wanjiru, begins to question if he can truly have it all. Kamal takes a weekend off for the first time in months. He and Wanjiru visit Nairobi National Park, where they spend the day in nature, away from the pressures of university and business. For the first time in a long while, Kamal feels free. He realizes that this happiness is something money can't buy. Moments of peace and genuine connection with someone who understands him beyond his status. Wanjiru opens up about her life, sharing stories about her struggles with balancing her own studies and a part-time job. Kamal feels a connection growing between them, a bond rooted not in material things but in shared dreams and vulnerabilities. As the sun sets over the savannah, Kamal feels a sense of belonging he's never known before. But deep down, he fears that his world will eventually pull him away from this happiness. As the semester draws to a close, Kamal's businesses demand even more of his time. His newest venture, a delivery service, explodes in popularity, leaving him with little time for anything else. Kamal's friends, always eager for his financial advice, now monopolize his free time, seeking his help in starting their own ventures. His phone rings constantly, filled with business deals, meetings, and negotiations. Wonjiru, on the other hand, grows increasingly distant. Though she never directly complains, Kamal can sense her disappointment as he cancels their plans more frequently. His wealth and success, which once seemed like a source of pride, now feel like a burden, trapping him in a cycle of constant pressure. Kamal begins to wonder if he's losing sight of the very thing he was searching for all along, real connection and love. Kamal's life takes a sharp turn when a major client threatens to pull out of a crucial deal, jeopardizing one of his biggest business ventures. The stress mounts as he throws himself into saving the deal, working late into the night and skipping classes. His world revolves around money, contracts, and negotiations, leaving him little time for anything else. Wonjiru, tired of waiting for Kamal to make time for her, decides to focus on her own goals. She distances herself, no longer attending their usual coffee meetups or responding to his messages. Kamal notices her absence and feels the sting of loneliness even more intensely. He realizes that, despite all his efforts, he is drifting further away from the only person who ever saw him beyond the campus millionaire. Kamal begins to understand that his pursuit of wealth has cost him more than he realized. One day, Kamal receives a message that shakes him to his core. Wonjiru has decided to transfer to a university abroad on a scholarship program. The news hits him hard, and for the first time, he confronts the emptiness in his life. All his wealth and success feel meaningless without someone to share it with. Kamal reflects on how his relentless pursuit of money and status has alienated him from true relationships, particularly with Wonjiru. Determined not to lose her, Kamal rushes to see Wonjiru before she leaves. He tells her how much she means to him and admits his fears of loneliness despite his success. For the first time, Kamal opens up about his insecurities, his fear of being loved for his money, and how much he values her presence in his life. Wonjiru listens but remains undecided about whether Kamal can truly change his ways. Wonjiru's departure looms, and Kamal is left with a choice. He can either continue down the path of wealth and success, chasing the next big deal, or he can fight for the happiness and love he's found with Wonjiru. His businesses are at a critical juncture, with new opportunities emerging every day, but Kamal's heart pulls him in a different direction. Kamal makes a drastic decision. He begins to delegate much of his business responsibilities to trusted partners, scaling down his involvement so he can focus on his personal life. For the first time, Kamal prioritizes something other than money, his happiness. He spends his last few days with Wonjiru before her departure, showing her the side of him that has nothing to do with wealth. They revisit the fountain where they first met, and Kamal promises that, whether she leaves or stays, he will be a better man for himself and for her. Wonjiru leaves for her scholarship program, and Kamal is left behind, but with a renewed sense of purpose. He still runs his businesses, but no longer allows them to consume his life. He reconnects with old friends, rebuilds relationships with family, and begins to explore passions outside of his financial empire. Kamal learns that true wealth is found in meaningful connections, personal growth, and love, not just money. Months later, Wonjiru returns for a visit, and she is surprised to see how much Kamal has changed. He's still successful, but he's no longer defined by his wealth. They reconnect, and though Wonjiru remains focused on her own goals, they agree to take things slow. Kamal has learned that happiness and love cannot be bought, but they can be nurtured through time, effort, and genuine care.